Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I saw you guys out there, didn't I? Good job. Yeah, nice to have you here. Tonight, we have a student showcase. We are so thrilled to have students back at the school board meetings. This is Lakeside Elementary's school course. Miss Rebecca Gaylor is their music teacher. Let's give it up for them. Thank you, Lakeside Elementary School Chorus, and thank you, Ms. Gaylor. One more time, let's hear it for them. Woohoo! Next, we'll ask Pastor Russell Franklin from Hickory Grove Baptist Church from Green Cove Springs to come and do our invocation.
Good evening. Let's pray together. Father, as we just heard sung, we just thank you so much for the light that shines in this world, especially as we just celebrated Christmas. We know the Bible tells us that a light has come. Those who are walking in the darkness have seen a great light. We thank you so much that Jesus Christ came into this world to shine that light, and that we who follow Christ also shine his light in this world. And what this world needs more than anything right now are believers in you to shine brightly, to show this world what it means to follow you. We all go through hurts, we all go through pain, we go through sorrows and grief, diseases and turmoils, but we also go through the joys of life knowing that Christ has come. He died and rose again. We thank you so much for that truth and that reassurance that we have. We pray, God, tonight for our school board as they meet, our superintendent. We thank you so much for them and give them wisdom and discernment as they make decisions concerning our children. I myself have a child in this very school at Fleming Island. I thank you for the teachers and staff there and all the other schools that are represented here. We thank you for the teachers and all the other faculty members that do a great job of teaching, instructing, and caring for our children. We pray for our local government, our state government, our president, all of Congress. Give wisdom to our Supreme Court. We thank you for our nation, our country. We are blessed to live in this wonderful land of liberty. We cherish it and honor it, and we always protect it. We thank you for our men and women who sacrifice themselves daily to serve either in the armed forces and those who serve in those first responders and our police and our fire and rescue. We thank you for all of them who work so hard and diligently to keep us safe locally and all around this world. We thank you so much for all these things. We pray it in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Franklin. Parents and students, thank you again for being here this evening, and feel welcome to go home, get a good night's rest, because tomorrow you have school again. No, teachers, you can't leave quite yet. We're calling the school board meeting for January 6th to order. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board on an agenda item, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card, which you will find located in the back of the room, there on the back table, indicating the specific item or topic you wish to speak about, and turn it in, and you may turn it into any of our officers. Thank you. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment section under presentations from the audience. Your participation is welcomed and appreciated. And if you haven't noticed yet, tonight is going to be Lakeside Elementary Night, and we're very happy to have you all here this evening. We just obviously heard from the chorus, and if you notice in the display cases around the back of the room to our left, your right, that is artwork located there by Lakeside Elementary students. Mr. Chad Perry is the art teacher there. So thank you again to all of the Lakeside participants ahead of time. We will call on Superintendent Brodsky for our first set of awards.
All right, it's my honor to give the first award, which is for Positive Behavior Interventions and Support, otherwise known as PBIS. What PBIS is a proactive, systematic approach to teaching and managing behavior in schools. There is no doubt that in order for students to learn, a conducive atmosphere for learning must be present. These particular schools that we're going to honor tonight have shown distinction, have shown a commitment to a culture of learning that addresses high expectations for student behavior through systems change. I would remind everybody that managing behaviors in schools is so important in order to create that environment, because expectations that mirror higher behavioral standards often follow with higher academic achievement. So I'm very, very proud to do this. I'm going to switch down to the other microphone because we have an ooh and ah moment. But our first individual, maybe she can come on up while we're doing this, while I'm getting down there, is Doctors Enlist. I believe Principal Ayers is here. Come on up. We have 5 schools we're recognizing tonight. We're only going to unveil the banner for 1. So you are very special. Okay? Now everybody sees this. I want to get an ooh and an ah. If you're on this side, you're going to be ooh. If you're on this side, you're going to be ah. Okay? So let's go ahead. Everybody over here. Ooh. Ah. Fantastic. So all of the banners look the same, but the names change for the schools that are being awarded. So maybe let's switch places.
Miss Ayers, while he's calling the next school, can you switch that around so we can see it too? One of the disadvantages of sitting up here. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh. Ah, there we go.
We learn fast up here, for sure. Our next school, Keystone Heights Elementary School. I believe Miss Williams is here. Next, we have Tynes Elementary. I see Miss Brennan, Miss Bright, Mr. Bright, I mean. Wilkinson Elementary School. I think I saw Miss Hayward in the back. All right. Last but not least, the Knights of Oakleaf High School. Mr. Tyler Wood in the house.
Thank you, Mr. Brodsky, and congratulations to each of you. Awesome. Next, our recognition of our 21-22 School-Related Employee of the Year and Teacher of the Year semi-finalists. Ms. Michaela Buchanan, who is the Executive Director of the Clay Education Foundation.
Thank you for having us tonight. Another opportunity to recognize some great educators and staff. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Mr. Brodsky back down, if he wouldn't mind, please, so he can give the participants their certificates. And if I could ask that you all just sort of line up nicely like the schools just did so we can get a group photo at the end. We'll start with the Teachers of the Year. So if you guys, next slide, please. All right. So first up, we have Anita Witten from Coppergate Elementary School. Ashley Hicks, Discovery Oaks Elementary. Kristen Tolley, Fleming Island Elementary. Melissa Matz, Lakeside Junior High. Jordan Hobbs, Middleburg High School. Stephanie Navarro, Plantation Oaks Elementary. Bradley Gardner, Rideout Elementary. Jessica Compratore, Shadowlawn Elementary, which I'm not sure that she's here tonight. We recognize her anyways. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Cheryl Soud. W. Cherry. And Catherine Wright, Wilkinson Elementary. If we can get one more hand for the Teacher of the Year semifinalist. Thank you so much. All right, and now for the Clay County School-Related Employee of the Year semifinalists. We're going to start out with Jacqueline Edwards from Clay Hill Elementary. Thank you. Melissa Holt, Fleming Island Elementary. Molly McNeil, Fleming Island High. Josephine Kyanan, Grove Park Elementary. Rebecca Triplett, Middleburg High School. Martina Moore, Oakleaf High School. Tammy Shumway King, Oakleaf Village Elementary. And I promise if I say your name incorrectly tonight, please let me know. We'll have pronunciations correct for the Apple Awards. Greta Gillis, Swimming Pen Creek. Erica Terry, Ridgeview High School. And Shannon Benedict, Wilkinson Junior High. All right. All right, another big hand for our semifinalists for School-Related Employee of the Year.
Thank you, and congratulations to each of you for making it to the top 10 finalists. Since Michaela was just up here, I also want to do a quick shout out. You're good, you can sit down. To Garber Automotive. Oh my gosh. I don't know if any of you went to Tools for Schools this past Monday. There were over 200, I think, teachers that showed up, and we have a new permanent location for the Tools for Schools, or I should say the foundation has it, with the Bailey Group support, and oh my gosh, Garber stepped up. They had lunch for us, hot dogs and hamburgers. We had teachers coming through starting at noon, and I don't believe it stopped until 3 or 3:30. And people were just so grateful to be able to get pencils. I mean, come on, we all know pencils just like fly out of the classroom for some reason, and pens and paper and all sorts of different supports that teachers need and supplies. So thank you again to Garber Automotive for all that they've done and for everything that the foundation has done for the teachers in that respect as well. Recognition of academic team champions. Ms. Pickett, you are up. Sorry. a little sports academic team.
All right, good evening, everyone. We'd like to recognize our academic teams. They work so hard each fall, and then once the fall season's over, then they have an all-academic county team, and they travel to the state competition, which they will be doing soon. So I thought we'd play our game that we did last year where I asked questions. I have answers this year, though. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you the questions, but I'm not going to give you a buzzer. You're not going to have to tap with speed like they do. I'm going to give you time to think, and then we'll see if anybody has any answers at the end. But remember, the students don't have that time. So just a couple of questions. Question number 1 with math. State the number of diagonals in a 9-sided regular polygon. I think I can repeat the question one time, Mr. Remsen. Is that correct? I will repeat it one time. State the number of diagonals in a 9-sided regular polygon. Social studies. Identify the letter that angered Americans in 1898 by insulting President William McKinley for his policies regarding Cuba. Mr. Brodsky, I'm going to put you on, you're the history buff here, so. Identify the letter that angered Americans in 1898 by insulting President William McKinley for his policies regarding Cuba. Just so you know, the kids are out there, they probably already have the answers. So, not to make you feel bad or anything.
We need a lifeline.
Can I call a math teacher?
Yes. English. Give the pen name of the English author, mathematician, and photographer whose works include The Hunting of the Snark, An Agony in 8 Fits, and Through the Looking Glass. And the final question, music. Name the root of the dominant triad in the key of F minor. So we'll give you time to ponder those questions as we recognize the students that are able to answer these without using their phone, without using a lifeline. They can use their teammates. So we have a junior high, a JV, and a varsity competition. And for the last couple of years, it's just been fantastic because we've had the great Mr. Remsen here that willingly took over the lead for the county academic team championships, and we just want to thank him for all that he's done. He will be stepping down, and he doesn't mind me sharing this because I asked. His wife has having some health issues, and so he is going to step down and support her, but we're hoping that she gets well and he just desires to come back because we will miss him not only in as the academic team lead, district lead, but also as a teacher. He's a fantastic math teacher. He was with me at Orange Park High and then moved over to Clay High, so I've known Mr. Remsen a long time. So I would like to say thank you to him. If y'all could give him a round of applause. So what we'd like to do is recognize the junior high winners first. And what I would like to do is have the coaches come up and introduce their players, because if you've ever heard me on announcements, I am the best at butchering names. So I asked the coaches to come up here and introduce their teammates. So the junior high champion for this year was Lakeside Junior. Mr. Malley is the coach, and he is going to introduce his players. Students, if you'll come on up when your name's called, we'll get a group picture, and then if you'll slide to the side, we'll get a picture with each team, and then a group picture with everyone.
So we had a team made up of 7th and 8th graders, and the intent is to have a great time and work on our academic skills and prepare them for junior varsity or varsity teams in high school. We play a little bit differently, but I think everybody enjoys themselves. Our first team member is Cody Jernigan. Our next team member is Garrett Johnson. Kennedy Kuning, who's not here tonight. Alex Kirk. Connor McClelland, who's not able to make it tonight. And Natalia Moya. Sarah Page. Reese Shimmer, who's not able to come tonight. Hayden Skripchik. And Crystal Torres.
Mr. Remsen will now present you with the trophy.
And if you would present it to our captain, I'd appreciate that. Is Hayden Skripchik.
Great. Now, if y'all will just slide over there toward the wall, we're going to get our next group, and then once we do the varsity, we'll have everyone take a picture together. All right. For JV, our JV season winners was Middleburg High School. Mr. Markham will come up and introduce his team to you. JV County Champions, Middleburg High School. You need the list.
Hi, I'm Colin Markham from Middleburg High School. Coach our JV and varsity academic teams. I like the smile there, Mr. Broski. I am supported there by two terrific co-coaches who work with me, Amber Fairs and Megan McCree. And here are the members of our JV squad this year. Guys, please come up when I call you. Joshua Millwood. Mia Utzler. Tyler Collins. Lily Phillips. Remy Wheeler. Seth Straub is the final member of our team, but he was unable to be here with us tonight.
All right, just slide right over there, Mr. Markham. We'll get a large county picture in just a second. And finally, Mr. Boyack wanted me to make sure that I made this statement. Our varsity winners with a three-peat, Oakleaf High School. And Mr. Martin, if you'll come on up and introduce that. This is the third year in a row that Oakleaf High School has won the varsity competition. So congratulations, Oakleaf. You need your list? Okay.
members of the board, Mr. Broski, thank you for having us tonight. I know the support that you give Ms. Pickett and the support she gives us allows us to continue to have this. We're always worried at the beginning of the year, especially when COVID hit a couple years ago, that we weren't going to have an academic team. And as you can tell, I really enjoy it. And I know all of the fellow coaches from the junior highs up through the high schools, we really appreciate the support you give us. So thank you. So I'd like to kind of announce my team. My team actually has 32 members on it. I did not invite all of them, and I'm not going to read all their names. They are on the record. So, but I am going to recognize the ones that showed up today. My senior, Veronica Ramos. And then I brought two of my juniors that are going to give us the four-peat. First is Colin Milbrandt. And Marshall Walton. And once again, thank you all very much.
Okay, can we get everybody together one time here? Just bring all the everybody back over here, please, for a large group picture. Rusty, you want to join? Junior high, up front, in the back. There you go. Mr. Remsen, get in there. Please. Thank you. Thank you, teams. We greatly appreciate it. And once Mr. Broski, well, I'll go ahead real quick. You want me to give the answers? Of course, I'll give the answers because.
Yeah, don't
Right,
ask
exactly.
us, just
I'm
give
sure-
it to us. Yeah.
I'm sure the players have already answered those, but I didn't want to put them on the spot.
Oh,
So,
we should have, yeah.
of course, the number of diagonals in a 9-sided regular polygon is 27. Oh,
27.
you were so close, you weren't you?
Diagonals.
27. Identify the letter that angered the Americans, insulting President William McKinley was the Delome letter.
I thought it was the letter C.
DELOME.
I was going with the letter C.
Let's see. Lewis Carroll was the pen name of the English author. Whoa, Miss Gilhausen, nice. We're going to add you to the academic team. And then name the root of the dominant triad in the key of F minor. G. G.
Gee, we missed
Key
that.
G. G. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate the support, and just want to thank the academic team, Mr. Remsen, and all the coaches. We appreciate the opportunity they give these students, and just it's amazing if you ever get to come to one of the academic team matches. It's humbling. Let's just say that. All right, Mr. Brock.
All I could say is, gee whiz, I almost knew the last answer. I'd like to, on behalf of the board and the district, provide a certificate of achievement to Kenneth Remsen. Let me just tell you, I can't even imagine academic team without him involved. When I think of academic team, I actually picture your face, during that time. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So thank you so much on behalf of the board and the district for all your years of dedicated service and all that you do. And like Ms. Pickett says, hopefully you'll come back at some point. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Remsen, for all of your work, all of your time, all of yours, and particularly your passion. Next, we get to have our next school showcase. We are excited to hear from, you guessed it, Lakeside Elementary School. Come on down.
Get this. All right, good evening, Mr. Broski, school board members. Lakeside is very excited to be the showcase school and for us to share a little bit more about Lakeside with you. So Lakeside was opened in 1974, and since then it has had a stellar reputation of being a great school to send your students to. So we're very proud of that. It's not an uncommon event, an occurrence at Lakeside to have students there whose parents were students at the school. And we also have some teachers and staff members who also attended Lakeside as an elementary student. So stayed within the community. So Lakeside serves kindergarten through 6th grade, and we are currently, our current enrollment is at 780 students, and we are growing every single day. As I speak, that's right, probably by tomorrow we'll be up by 10 more students. So we are growing exponentially, and we have about 85 staff members. All right, our theme this year was Unleash Your Full Potential, and we thought that was very fitting based on the challenges that we've had for the last year and a half. And so when we returned this year, we always have our teachers sort of buy in, come up with some ideas, and our newly retired PE teacher, Miss T, she came up with this, and we voted as a faculty that this would be our theme for the year. And it goes along very well with what we wanted students to do when they returned to brick and mortar. And so we want them to unleash their full potential socially and academically. So Mrs. Fowler and myself are the current admin team. I started at Lakeside as the assistant principal, and I've been there now for 7 years. And very blessed to be the principal of this amazing school. And Mrs. Fowler and I have very similar beliefs in that we don't have to wake up in the morning and have to go to work. We get to go to work. And we get to go to work at an amazing school with amazing students and an amazing staff who really are dedicated to making sure students' needs are being met every day. So I could stand up here for hours and talk about all of the wonderful things about Lakeside, but some of the highlights, I think, that are Lakeside strengths is that we are a very welcoming environment, and I say that from the moment you walk through the front door to our front office staff, to the cafeteria workers, to our custodial staff, and to our teachers. It's just a great place, and we work really hard to make sure that when students walk onto the campus every single day, that they feel loved, that they feel safe, and that they are in a place where they are going to be able to unleash their full potential. And so we work really hard with that. We're also very inclusive, and I will say that at Lakeside, all means all. And we work very hard to make sure that from our bottom quartile to even our highest achieving children, that everybody is included in everything. And that is one of the things I can truly say I'm really proud of for our staff, for making sure that all students, like I said, all does mean all. We work really hard on being a Laker. We are the home of the Lakers, and our students know that Laker, and that's an acronym, and the students hear it every morning. And Laker stands listening, achieve, kind, enthusiastic, and responsible. And most students, after they've been at Lakeside for at least a week, they know what that acronym means and what it means to be a Laker. And they hear it every day on the morning announcements from either myself or Mrs. Fowler. We're also very student and community centered. We've got a long tradition within the community. And like I said, we've got children whose parents went to school there, grandparents. There's very rarely do we hear anything negative about Lakeside, and we're proud of that. And so we really want to continue that tradition. And if you've been to any of the Florida Striders fun runs, you know we show up to the sea of red, we call it, for all of in our Lakeside shirts. And so to me, that shows that the community wants to support Lakeside and be part of that. So we know we had some challenges over the last couple of years with COVID and going to online learning, and then half of students being in online learning and brick and mortar. And so we rose to the occasion. Lakeside, our teachers dug in, and they really wanted to make sure that no matter what mode of learning a student was in, that they were getting the best instruction possible. And so we really worked hard when the kids came back on campus last year, that we were filling in gaps, making sure that students had opportunities, tutoring, and that paid off. Lakeside was able to maintain their A last year, and some of our highlights from the data, our 6th grade rocked it. They really just did an amazing job. We have a rock star math teacher in 6th grade, Mr. Ty Little, and 94% pass rate. He can do amazing things with students. Students that had level 1s and 2s in 5th grade end up with level 5s when they're done with 6th grade. So we're extremely proud of our 6th grade team. They did a fantastic job. And like I said, we were able to maintain that A, and so that's through the dedication of our teachers and our students and their parents working together as a team. No, I'll go. We'll move on that one. So we do like to offer a lot of extracurricular activities at Lakeside. Obviously, COVID sort of kind of squashed some of those things, but we're starting to move back in the right direction. And so there's just a list on the PowerPoint of some of the ones that we do offer. So one of the big lifts that we saw at Lakeside, we had a huge jump in the 18-19 school data. We rose 54 points, achievement points. And what we attributed that to was we put on a lot of work into having intentional and purposeful small groups. It was the first time Lakeside had put true effort into making sure that that was evident in every single classroom. And the teachers really put in a lot of time in making sure they were incorporating those. And it was the trick. We saw a huge gain in points, and we've continued that. You can walk into any classroom, and for the most part, you will see some sort of small group occurring. And the teachers have continued that. In fact, we just had a iReady training this morning with math small group and how to build better groups based on the standards. So we're continuing that, and we've gotten the most success by making sure that we've got those small groups in place. So just a couple of accomplishments while I've been at Lakeside that we've kind of put into place. We brought back our PFA, so we were very happy to do that, and we have an outstanding PFA board, and they work very hard to support our teachers, our students, and to sponsor as many community parent events as possible so that we can have parents involved with their students. We started positive office referrals, and that's been a fantastic. It's always wonderful to make fun, nice, positive phone calls home as opposed to ones when we've had to discuss maybe some unfavorable choices. And it's always fun when the kids come in and I have to call and I put the parent on speaker, and I always have a little laugh with the child. I said, listen to your parent's voice when I say, hey, it's Miss Wolf calling from Lakeside. And the parent, okay. And the child giggles because, so we always say that just listen to your mom's voice. So that's been really a great thing. And the kids love coming up and having their picture taken and getting to share with their parents what a great job they've done. And then also Lakeside was very, very proud that we had Clay County School Teacher of the Year, Megan Gribb. So we're extremely proud of her, and Lakeside was honored that, she's part of our staff. So while there's all wonderful things about Lakeside, and there's always room for improvement, so some of the things that we're continuing to focus on this year and continually is that we still want to continue having our parents be involved with their students in different opportunities. We're going to continue to work with our subgroups, our bottom quartile, some of our kids who just have gaps in their learning, and we want to make sure that we're providing them with solid instruction so that they can be successful at their current grade and in the next grade. And then also we're going to continue to work on increasing positive behavior choices, and we've got multiple different ways to recognize students for when they make good choices. At Lakeside, we believe that we want the teachers to feel pride in their school and the students to have some ownership. And so when it comes to our teachers, we have a leadership team. Our leadership team attended the teacher leadership training this summer, and it was fantastic. They all thoroughly enjoyed that opportunity. And they have been heavily involved in our restructuring of our professional learning communities. We wanted them to own that process so that they would be engaged in the work, and they have ran with it. We did a little bit of restructuring when we came back from Christmas break because they felt like it wasn't working and they were not getting what they needed out of their PLCs. So we brought them in and we let them hash it out and figure out, and they came up with a really good plan. And so we just started that this Thursday, but we want them to have ownership of that process. And just like with the students, we want them to feel proud to be part of Lakeside. And so we've got different opportunities. We do Laker Awards, that's a big deal. We do Laker Legend tickets, where teachers or any staff member can write a ticket out for a student. It gets put into a basket, and then I pull 10 names every morning and call those names on the morning announcements, and they get to come up to the front office and get a pencil and a certificate. So again, it's just continuing to provide opportunities for students to be recognized for appropriate choices. So our next steps as we continue this year is that we want to continue with our Pbis initiatives. Again, we'll be transitioning to the best math standards, so we want to provide support to our teachers for that. And then also we took on, the new literacy program, so that was a little bit of a struggle in the beginning, but I will say that the teachers have embraced it, and they are moving forward, and they're finding that, hey, these things are working, and we're seeing some gains. And so we just want to continue to support the teachers as best as we can, and also the students. So we're very grateful that we got a little bit of an opportunity to share a little bit more about Lakeside. So thank you for the opportunity. And Mrs. Fowler, we'd like to going to present you just with a little token of our appreciation from Lakeside. So protocol, because my bookkeeper will kill me, we just need you to sign, and you'll see why when you open up. But thank you so much and for this opportunity.
I am hoping that my shirt is a medium.
Oh, yes, please do. We guesstimated, and if it's the wrong size, that's your opportunity to come visit us, and we will exchange it out for the right size. That's right. So thank you again.
Can we open them now? Of course. Good job. Oh, nice. Woo-hoo. And on the back it says, "Unleash your full potential." I love it. Very
Nice.
Thank you so much. This
Thank
is
you.
awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, that's nice. I love the design on the front, too. That's great.
I think it stopped at Ms.
Sign that and pass it on, Ms. Gelhausen, so we can move on. Yes. That's a neat T-shirt. Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. Obviously, Lakeside has so much going for it, and it's a wonderful school. It truly, truly is. And when you said that you know of alumni who are parents and grandparents, truly, we hear about it as well. And it's awesome to see that. So thank you for all that both of you do. Are you happy to be back in the elementary school? Yes.
Thank you
Having
both
been
for
in
your
high school,
leadership.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, this is the last call for any comment cards. Do we have any comment cards, Mr. Bickner? Okie dokie. Last call for comment cards. There will be no presentations from the audience since we don't have any comment cards. No dancing, no singing. Okay, got it. All right. And at this point, then, we will be able to adopt the consent agenda. I will welcome a motion to do so.
I'll move approval.
Ms. Karakis moved approval.
I'll second it.
Ms. Bullock seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Being no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Very good. Next, we'll have our CCA update by Ms. Kidwell.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Can you hear me? Next week, Clay County School educators will vote on contract changes tentatively agreed to at bargaining in December. CCA is encouraging ratification of these agreements. Bargaining under the constraints of Florida's TSIA law was challenging for every district in Florida, and our Clay County School Board and Superintendent understood the importance of using available funding to extend a measure of equity to all teachers. We're thankful for that. CCA understands that the district's proposal for equity for veterans through bonuses rather than salary was the best proposal legally allowed by the TSIA laws, which required the majority of funding be funneled to the lowest base salary. We're hopeful that meeting the governor's base salary goal of $47,500 will strengthen our Clay County School District by providing competitive hiring for new teachers. We have much to celebrate in this agreement, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but the crisis of the educational shortages, which rob our students of quality certified teachers in every classroom, will not be solved by shoring up base pay for educators. While we agree increasing base pay was a necessary first step, Clay County District Schools must secure the future by doing more. Consider this recent data. You know how we all love data. In 2019, from August to December, at the very beginning of the year, when everybody's mostly stable, 38 certified teacher positions were vacated by resignation or retirement. In 2020, from August to December, 69 certified teacher positions were vacated in just that short amount of time. That's an 82% increase in exodus from the previous identical time period. This school year, from August to December, already 86 certified teacher positions have been vacated by resignation or retirement. That's a 126% increase from the 2019 data. And I know a lot of that we can attribute to the unprecedented times that we're in, but the reality of that is that that's 506 years worth of experience. I added them up. Lost this year alone, this year, from August to December, 506 years of experience lost in Clay County, 5 months of the year. And you know the big retirements, that happens at the end. The big exodus happens at the end. That's happened just from August to December this year. We're hopeful that the Clay County District Schools, having reached the TSIA goal, will be able to focus their future efforts on retaining the experienced educators of Clay County by addressing lagging veteran salaries and acknowledging the accelerating exodus of both new and veteran educators. Listening to educators and facing the factors which cause educators to leave a profession and a mission that they love is the only way to resolve the crisis in our schools. In this new year, I hope we can commit to listening to educators and addressing the increasing strains on a difficult but essential profession. We must be committed to addressing the unrealistic demands diminishing professional respect and autonomy, and the stagnant wages of career educators. Courage, empathy, innovation, and honesty will help us make lasting decisions which will strengthen permanently our schools for the future. I'm committed to bringing you the voices of our educators, our teachers in the field who know what's going on and feel those strains. And I pray that you will continue to listen and embrace collaboration that will move us forward together for the future of Clay County students. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Kidwell. We next have our Cespa update with Mr. Lonnie Roberts.
Good evening, and Happy New Year to all. I just want to say that so far in the last quarter, I would say that things have been looking good for the support world. We just tentatively agreed to our contract. We all are happy for that. You guys will be voting on it tonight. I thank the school board for listening to us, your bargaining team that sat across from us, that listened to us. Nobody got everything, but we all left satisfied in what we had. And the more we do that, I think the further we'll go here in the district. Our voting will be next week on Friday, the 14th, at all the high schools. Just want to make sure I put that out there because for some reason I'm still getting phone calls on Wednesday. I don't know where Wednesday come from. So it's on Friday at all the high schools. I really don't have that much so far, except for Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys next month.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Have a good evening.
And Happy New Year to each of you as well. Thank you for all of your hard work and all that you do for our teachers and our support staff. It is greatly appreciated. Superintendent's update and presentations. Mr. Broski.
All right, Happy New Year. I only have 67 slides this evening to start off.
One for every county.
Exactly, one for every county, exactly, no. A short presentation. We're going to talk a little bit about back to school here in the second semester, our School of the Month nominations, controlled open enrollment, our graduation rate, and COVID protocols. But before I do that, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge how truly blessed we are to live in this country. For one, the state of Florida, and in Clay County in particular. I'd also be blessed because I noted, in a time of divisiveness and angst out there in the world, to not have a single public comment does my heart good. It means that good customer service is being provided. I did a little math myself. 40,000 students, they interact with at least 6 adults on average a day, and they go to school for 180 days a year. If you do the math on that, it's 43,200,000 interactions or potential chances for something to not go the way somebody would like it to go. And to look at the customer service that we provide, now we don't always get it right, but we care and we want to make it right. And so, even tonight I was kind of like looking out there, wondering, is there going to be a yellow card, and is somebody going to come up, and is there something I don't know that we weren't able to help somebody, and all of those kinds of things. And so it does my heart good, and I'd be remiss if I didn't kind of acknowledge that here this evening. So back to school. Ms. Bowl has already mentioned this, but we had over 200 teachers attend our Tools for School event. It's now at Garber Auto Mall. You can look at how much more room is in that room than our previous location. I want to say that our focus for the second semester academically, this is learning occurs all year, but this is game time when you come back from Christmas break. I always treated it as a principal as like the first day of school, and we reviewed expectations and we started the year over again. And as we build up towards state assessments, we want to remind everyone that we want to focus on high expectations for all, and all means all, regardless of ability level, regardless of disability, socioeconomics, race, ethnicity, etc. But we also want to focus on strong instruction in the classroom and get back to the things that make Clay County such a great educational opportunity for students. In particular, if you look at the center of that circle, I know it looks like a big bullseye from a distance, really the 4 principles that we've been working on all year are student engagement. We want students to be committed to learn, not just compliance. You know, sometimes students just do whatever is put in front of them. A worksheet, for example, comes to mind. That's an example of compliance. A student that's doing what the teacher asked them to do, that's not learning at its highest level, you know, and so we want commitment for our students. The second box that you see there is demonstration of understanding. There has to be a way to informally assess what students know. If you continue to go down the path of a lesson and nobody is getting it, it's time to turn around and start doing something different in order to be successful with students. The third box that you see there is academic ownerships. We want the students to work harder than the teacher. We know the teacher has a degree, okay? So we want the students to be doing the academic work. That's called academic ownership. And the tan-colored box there talks about rigorous grade level content. In other words, you should be stretching students academically to achieve more. If you're shortchanging or underselling or not challenging students enough, they will never grow. Okay, the growth process is an academic struggle. It's okay to struggle. In fact, if struggle doesn't occur, growth doesn't occur, right? So we want to make sure the teachers are causing that growth to occur through academic struggle. Remember, we had 3 main things that we were focusing on this year: this academic vision that you see in front of you, and you see in the center a culture of learning. We're acknowledging positive behaviors and making sure that students act appropriately in our classrooms. Aside from that, early literacy is a primary focus. House Bill 7011 creates all kinds of new programs within the educational system related to early literacy. When you think about it, that is the very foundation of learning and is so important. And the third is our PLCs, which are our professional learning communities. When for some reason, when teachers work together, there's a certain synergy that occurs there, and they work together as a team that increases the output and what we can do for students. So that's primarily what we're focused on. I know that there's a lot of distractions in the world that we see, but really students come to school to get an education, and that should be the primary focus of what we're doing. I, for one, am excited to be back, after New Year's, to come back and to kind of kick that off. This is kind of like my Super Bowl, if you will. And so I'm excited to be back and be back in the game in the third quarter now. So that's what we're doing academically within our schools. Our School of the Month nomination, this month, the theme is Florida Celebrates Literacy. So don't forget, go to the website and nominate your favorite school. It's a little shameless plug. Controlled open enrollment. Remember, we're required by Florida Statute 1002.31 to establish a capacity. This board, the capacity is 80%. It's designed to give parents additional educational offerings. The timeline, the window, January 24th through February 25th. We really have 175 seats available, Charles E. Bennett, Montclair, and SBJ. If you recall, we've done some redistricting, which then has shifted some student populations to meet the 80%. And so kudos to the board for creating a more balanced attendance zones across the entire district. And it's something that, as we all know, we're going to have to continue to do in the future. what if there's more people that want the seats than seats available? Well, there's a lottery process involved within the policy, and you could see those 4 bulleted points are factors that are given consideration in that order for the lottery process, which includes students residing within the district, active military, and those with military orders, relocated due to foster care, relocated due to court order. So graduation rates, I'm proud to announce our graduation rate just came out Tuesday, 92.7. Okay, so that would be the second highest ever in school history. I think it was last year was 93.4 if I'm not mistaken. So a lot to be proud of. 2.7% above the state average. I put the subgroups in there because I think the subgroups are particularly impressive data point, if you will. If you take a look at that, our African-American students had a rate higher than the district average, which is 94.1%. I'm also particularly proud of our ELL students, our English Language Learner Group, at 97.7%. I haven't had the time to kind of look up every district and where they are, but you can bet I'm competitive, and I will, and to tell you how all of those kind of stack out. My first initial blush of that, you know, given all the things that have happened over the past 2 years and where we're at, I'm pretty darn proud of our district and how we've done with our graduation rate. You can see each school there and how they've done for each of our high schools at this past year. Very, very proud of everybody. They do a tremendous job. Our college coaches do a great job within there trying to motivate each and every student. Protocols, it wouldn't be a presentation without protocols. And let me just say this. You know, I was kind of hoping that we'd be coming back in a different situation than the situation that we are. I'm very proud of the decision-making of the board related to COVID policy. I think that we've applied a rational, common-sense approach in an attempt to get back to some form of normal within our school system, and we've done it at rapid speed. That does not mean that we shouldn't recognize the fact that the current variant, Omicron variant, is highly contagious. It appears to be spreading at a faster rate than other variants. The very good news is that it's less detrimental or less hospitalizations and deaths related to that. So I would not be surprised, because I'm always one to kind of set reasonable expectations and just be upfront with people. I would not be surprised if we saw a number of students and staff test positive. That would make perfectly good sense given our current situation, that would in fact occur. I put this graph up here because this is the Florida Department of Education's graph related to quarantining and how that works. If you recall, under 64 DER 2112, it stipulates the number of days related to quarantining and quarantining of students. In this particular graph, you can't see it, but in number 2, it says what to do if you test positive. And really, there's 3 options there. One is you can return to school with a negative test result. You can return to school with in essence, a note from your physician saying that they're recommending your return to school, or 10 days and become asymptomatic is the current law. I think that the state of Florida is looking at that, and there could be changes in the future. It's always fluid when it comes to these rules, because the CDC had recently made a recommendation for 5 days, and that's kind of where we're at. I am one to kind of point out that there's many mitigation strategies that are still in place and should continue to be in place. One is the individualized school plans that each school has, the isolation rooms, the seating charts, the spraying, the additional cleaning of our facilities. We're going to continue to provide our COVID-19 report to be transparent to the public as to the number of positive cases. We're going to continue to recommend the use of face coverings indoors for those that wish to do so. There's 2 free COVID-19 testing locations. One's at the fairgrounds, one's at Oakleaf Sports Association. I'll go ahead and we'll post this on the district website for anybody that's watching out there and wants to know how to go ahead and get a free test within Clay County. Just a reminder, if you're awaiting a test, please don't come to work, or if you're a student, come to school. If you're confirmed positive and still within the recommended self-isolation time frame, someone in the home is exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms and is awaiting testing results, or someone is in the home and is positive with COVID-19 results. So I am, quite frankly, sick of giving the reminders related to this and can't wait for the day in which this isn't a part of what we do on a daily basis. But until that time happens, we need to continue to provide rational, calm decision-making relative to this and move our schools forward. You know, we have to push on. It's already been 2 years of impact, and I'm very thankful due to the hard work of our teachers, our administrators, and our support that the detrimental effects on students, which has occurred, hasn't been as large as other areas of the country. And so we should be thankful for that, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue to move back onto track when it comes to providing some normalcy within the school system. And I think we've done that with great success. So with that, that's all that I have today.
Thank you, Mr. Broski. Next, we're moving into our discussion items in the agenda. Under D1, our 2022 legislative priorities. These were provided by the superintendent following our last agenda workshop, where we sort of picked it apart at first and made our recommendations. And I will welcome a motion to accept these as our priorities.
I'll move approval.
Ms. Gilhausen moved approval. Ms. Clark seconded it. Discussion. Go ahead.
Okay, I had the first one I had under the career and technical ed was in regard to the salary. Obviously, all of our teachers deserve a big starting salary, so I was a little concerned about that might be a bargaining issue. That was the only thing that I had a question about on that first item.
I think we're just trying to highlight the fact that some folks within the industry world have very unique skills,
Right.
making it very, very difficult to hire them at that current.
Well, I had a question about that one also, and I thought it is just an example, but I'm not sure if we want it worded that way. Should it be maybe worded differently? Are we specifically requesting that all CTE teachers now start at $65,000, which of course we're not because that's bargaining, but is it going to be perceived that way? So maybe it should be worded a little differently?
It does say provide adequate funding to recruit and compensate, and perhaps adding, for example,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Just adding the
possibly
words, or
even removing that.
we could, yeah.
Remove the amounts.
I like the amounts because I think it paints a very clear picture of the difficulty in hiring these positions.
I agree with that. I just don't know if it's clear.
Yeah.
If it's a little,
I think maybe
confusing,
putting
so
for example
for
or
example
something
would
like that
be-
might help, because I just, you
I'm
know,
fine with adding verbiage to it, but I don't want to take it off.
no,
Yeah.
and I'm fine with that. And then I did have one other question, and I think this is very well put together. It's exactly what, we wanted. I was just curious about the examples of, or the requests that we're going to go forward with as far as additional academies. And I love that we're asking specifically, because I think that really was helpful a few years ago. But did it come to us at any time that we were going to add building construction to Fleming Island and health science to Ridgeview? And it's fine. I was just wondering, was that something
No.
we missed?
No.
Did that come from the community meeting that we had? What was that called? Ms. Paul, what was the name of that meeting? Yes, did it come out of that?
Would you come to the podium?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry
Yes.
to put you on the spot, if you don't mind.
And just introduce yourself and what your position is in the county, please. We don't need your address.
Good evening. I'm Alice Polk, and I'm the CTE supervisor.
Thank you.
So we had, when Ms. Dennis called, we had put down a couple of things that we've been talking about for a couple of years, and to be honest, most of it comes from a lack of funding to get those new programs off the ground. We've talked about a health science program at Ridgeview High School for a number of years. We think that'll help keep students there that are leaving to go to other programs that has health science, so it'll keep some of those kids that are zoned for Ridgeview there. Plus, if you were able to attend our comprehensive local needs assessment, or you're just turn on the news, anything in healthcare is what Northeast Florida needs right now. So it was a logical place to start with Ridgeview High School with health science program. We're not sure exactly what flavor that's going to take yet. The first two classes are the same thing no matter what path it takes. So we're going to get off the ground and then see what interest lies there at Ridgeview High School. For Fleming Island High School construction, again, that was another big need that came out of our meeting. And when you look at Fleming Island High School and how it was built in the facility here, there is nothing hands-on for these students to do whatsoever. And so we felt like that was a good spot and a good program, that they need something new here, and that would be a good pathway for this school and for our community. So those are why those two items were listed. We could leave them on there, we could take them off, but
No,
like you said, we felt like it was good to give some specific reasons and what those are. And that's the two that we had listed.
I didn't have any issue with that at all. I didn't know if it had come to us and I missed it. And then, of course, we want to be equitable with our academies and make sure that, there's not one school that has more than the others. But something else that I thought of while looking at this is, with all the changes that we've made in redistricting with Orange Park High, is there maybe a need that could help serve the students coming in from the Oak Leaf area that we might want to address? So just putting it out there, we don't have to change any of this, but I did think that maybe we might want to look at, Orange Park High and the kids coming. Is there an academy that was at Oak Leaf High that a lot of the students may have been in that
They would be able to.
they would like to stay with and open one at Orange
Or
Park
even if we had one that's maybe a brand new
Right.
academy, I think
to attract?
we left a stipulation there that if they were in an academy, they could stay at Oakleaf.
Right.
So I don't think we'll have students
Right.
that come that need something that's not offered, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we
there-
might,
there
but
will
I
be a
love the
lot
idea of
coming.
making it more appealing, that there's
Yeah.
something new for them to try.
So,
And there are a number of programs at Orange Park High School that we've talked to those students, like we have welding, and the only place we have that is Orange Park High School. We have carpentry at Orange Park High School, which they haven't had the opportunity at Oakleaf. So I think there's going to be some great draws for students. Then we still have the same things like our business program, early childhood, all of those things. They also have an engineering and robotics program, which they have robotics at Oakleaf. So we're hoping those kids will find a place at Orange Park High if that happens to be where they're moving to.
And you have health sciences at Orange
Yes,
Park,
we have health
correct?
science both at Orange
Right.
Park and Oakleaf. So there's a good mix of students continuing on that pathway, along with something new to hopefully draw them back home to Orange Park High School, as Mr.
Like
Gunder likes to
our
say.
culinary program.
Right.
I know that's a great program at Orange Park.
Right, that's a great
It
pro-
was just a thought that maybe we might want to look at it, but if you have it covered, then I'm good with this.
I did have, actually had several constituents suggest at Orange Park High School a cosmetology program. Is that something that we've explored in the past?
So years and years ago, where the TLC is right now, at one point that was possibly going to be a cosmetology area because it was on the outskirt of campus. People could drive up and leave. What we have found in the direction, for lack of better words, that our state is taking is they're looking at programs that produce high skill, high wage employees. And because I think cosmetology and the way it's set up, just like a lot of service industries, they don't report necessarily their full income, so then it doesn't look like it's really a high wage career, if you get what I'm saying, like with tips and things like that, they don't always get reported on taxes. And so we would have a hard time finding funding to support those kind of programs. That's not the direction that the things that are coming out of the CTE department at the Department of Education that they would look to support, but it's definitely something we can look at. Another thing, just kind of thinking ahead, is there's been some new programs opened up for what they're calling career dual enrollment, and so we're currently looking into that for the 22-23 school year, where students can expand through dual enrollment through our local technical colleges. So we have a meeting with Bradford Tech for our Keystone Heights, that end of the county. And then we also have a meeting with First Coast Tech, which is over in St. Augustine, but really isn't that far away because it's just right there on the edge of 95. So those students could go do things like a CDL or welding down in Keystone. So programs that we don't have where we don't have to recreate the wheel, but we can provide them some opportunities and help get them there and pay that tuition. So that's kind of in the works as well to fill in those needs.
And I appreciate that because I know Keystone, of course, it's a smaller school, has probably the fewest number of CTE programs. So if we can join forces with Bradford Tech, that'd be great to do that.
It is too bad about the cosmetology because we've brought it up before and it's something that students want. You know, it's maybe they don't consider it a high income, but
I've also
they
heard
obviously
it.
don't know the salon I go to.
Mine either.
No,
And so we're hoping we can fill those needs, like I said, with some of those facilities that already exist because it is very
Right.
costly to start those programs. And then when our counterparts in Duval who do have those programs, they're running block schedule with 8 periods a day because that's also a very time-intensive program. And unfortunately, with our 6-period days, we don't have, the students have the time to commit to actually earn those certifications because it takes like 800 hours, which they would never be able to finish.
And I know in Keystone, a lot of our local salons have approached me and said, you know, we'd be glad to
I've had
open
the
our,
same.
open up our shops to people. So, you know.
It
so
seems like there's a real shortage right now
Yeah.
in that industry. That's the business owners have approached me about. Will you guys please train some kids?
Yeah.
But and I had thought about it in conjunction with some of our theater programs. I feel like cosmetology might be a good fit for some of those students. Just there's, like you said, there's opportunities where maybe we could pair it with another program and offer it maybe on a scaled back level where you're just doing cosmetics and not hair, or, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Madam Chair, what I heard was this is like it is with the exception of, for example,
Yes.
right before that.
And is, for example, acceptable to everyone? Mr. Bickner, we have a motion to accept the legislative priorities, but we want to we want to add 2 words. Do we have to redo our motion and?
You need to redo the motion, and it needs to include that as a term of the motion.
Did I know I
Can
did I
she,
move or did I second?
Ms. Gilhausen moved and Ms. Clark seconded it.
So
So
I'll
can
amend my
they
motion.
can they rescind their motions?
They can.
Ms. Clark, would you rescind your second? We're going to go backwards. And Ms. Gilhausen?
Yes.
Would you like to make a different motion after you rescind this one?
Yes, I'll move that we accept the legislative priorities with the added language of, for example, by the $65,000 bullet point.
Do I hear a second? Okay, so Ms. Gilhausen has moved that the legislative priorities be accepted with the provision that we add the words, for example, after the bullet and before the amount of $65,000 under career and technical education. And it has been seconded by Ms. Clark. Further discussion? None? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. And we have legislative priorities. Thank you. And thank you for all of the work that you did, Mr. Broski, and your team to meet so many of the needs of our community. This really covers a lot of areas and a lot of topics that we unfortunately frequently bring back to the legislature every year. A reminder. Okay. Next, we have a human resource special action. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
Ms. Carrick has moved approval. And Ms. Clark has seconded it. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. There is no human resource special action B, so we will continue on to D6, which is a bid renewal for athletic field maintenance by AgriPro and St. John's Turf Care.
I'll be recusing myself from this vote for conflict of interest.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion for approval? Ms. Clark moved for approval. Is there a second?
I second.
And Ms. Bullock seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The vote carries 4-0 with Ms. Gilhausen recusing herself from this vote. Thank you. Mr. Bickner, do you have any school board attorney remarks that you'd like to share with us? Thank you. Ms. Clark, comments?
I would, I think I feel the pain that Ms. Kidwell was mentioning about the, obviously, teacher shortages, and that's something we're all, of course, aware of, and seeing the teachers having to do double and triple time, you know, we've got a long way to go. But unfortunately, we're short in every industry, cosmetology to contracting, and it's going to be, it's a problem just getting help to get our schools maintained and built and in time, and we're just going to have to be patient and push ahead as far as we can, as much as we can. I would love to see the teachers make far more money. I know it's only a 10-month job basically, but I know they need those 2 months off, plus that holiday time. So anyway, I just want everybody to know that we know a little bit about what they deal with in the classroom, and we certainly respect what they have to deal with. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Karakis.
I would just say, welcome back to everybody. Hope they all enjoyed the holiday break and are refreshed and ready to hit the ground running. I know we had some wonderful recognitions tonight, and congratulations to our model schools and our academic teams and our Teacher of the Year and our school-related employees of the year. Look forward to the ceremony on February 4th, is it? February
4th, yeah.
4th. And really, that's it. Just welcome back. Thank you.
Ms. Bullock?
I'd like to thank the Education Foundation and Garber Chevrolet for the great facility. It certainly makes it more centrally located for all the different schools, and I'm appreciative of that. And I'd also like to thank both sides of the bargaining team, CCEA and Cespa, and the administrative side, Ms. Troutman, for coming up with a really good contract. It's a good start, and we need to continue to move forward to make things as equitable as we can do that, and we appreciate it. Thank you for all of your hard work.
Ms. Gilhausen?
I don't feel like I can add much to what's already been said. I'm glad to be back, and I hope everyone else is as well, and we'll finish this last semester strong, I know, because that's what we do here in Clay County. And I echo your thoughts on the teaching shortage and the gratitude for being done with bargaining and everybody being satisfied with the outcome, and onward and upward from here.
Sounds good. Just a couple of things. The adult ed graduation took place at Orange Park High, and it was awesome. Seeing students who've come back to school or come back to complete their GEDs and actually walk and be able to turn that tassel. Always is a very emotional experience for many of the families who are in attendance. The next graduation that's coming up is on the 20th of this month with Bannerman. That will be in this location. And if any of you are interested in some awesome entertainment, January is the month of concerts, and it's always fun to go to these concerts and hear our students perform. We have the All-County Band concert coming up Saturday at the Thrasher Horn Center. We have the All-County Chorus for the high school students and junior high students at the Baptist Church on Kingsley on the 24th. And then the All-County Elementary Chorus, one of my favorites, coming up at the Thrasher Horn on the 28th. So if you have not ever attended any of those, I strongly encourage you to get a ticket, because it's, here again, a fun experience, and the pride in those children and their teachers is phenomenal to watch. Thank you all for being here this evening, and thank you all for all that you do, and particularly to all of the staff. Our meeting is adjourned.